Welcome back to another episode of TPC. We're going to be talking about Week 7 college football predictions. This is a great slate of games. We had a great games of Friday night. I was kind of disappointed. North Texas versus University of South Florida. I really thought it was going to be a good game, but it ended up being 63-36, kind of a flip-flop score. Vernon Brown, man, that guy is carrying this team, University of South Florida. I mean, the Florida game, prime example of him carrying this team. And I mean, they're 5-1 now. I mean, they're the top favorites to win the American right now. Them and Memphis back and forth right now. I mean, UNT, there's some levels to it. There's levels in the American Conference right now. I mean, they were at home for this game. It's a sold-out game. And there's levels to this, and I think they'll figure it out, of course, but there's levels when it comes to playing in that territory American Conference, if anything. But, simple Friday games. Washington gets the wins over Rutgers. Colorado gets the winner of Fresno State. Nothing too crazy, though. Let's start with the slate of the afternoon games of the 11 a.m. games. Illinois versus Ohio State out Illinois. I am not buy-in, if anything, of Illinois after still the loss to Indiana, and it was in almost losing to USC. I don't know anything. I mean, that team was number 10 for a while in preseason rankings and for the season a little bit, but I don't know how they do. I know this is at home for them. I don't know how Luke Altmaier is going to do in this game. That's really the core thing, and Gabe Lucas or Gabe whatever his name, Lucille or something like that, the edge rusher they have on their team. I mean, they're solid overall. It's just like Ohio State's Ohio State. They're going to build momentum, and it's going to go down to them and Michigan going to the Big Ten Championship, in my opinion, how it goes. But if I had to say, Ohio State's going to win this game. I think Julian Sain is building momentum to get that keep going. Jeremiah Smith and him, Tate and Peoples, and this red zone defense is one of the best in the league. They're going to continue that as a nature for them. I just think they'll win this game by a big margin, if anything. I know it's on the road, but I think they'll win big time. Florida State versus Pittsburgh, a little underrated game, I think. This game, Florida State, has lost 2 straight games. They're still in the top 25. I don't know how Pitt is overall. I saw a thing I don't know if Eli Hollister is playing this game, if I'm correct. Let me see. If he's playing or not. Because if he's not playing, I'm going to take Florida State in this game, of course. Or no, they benched him. That's what it was. That was the talk about it. The decision of benching him last week. That's what it was I saw. Yeah. So he was projected to do an insane thing. He was recruited as one of Alabama's next prospects in the Alabama season. Alabama, Nick Saban's, renaissance pretty much. And he's been sloppy, I believe. Only 1,000 yards so far this year, to the point that he's got benched. I mean, they lost to Louisville and then beat Boston College, lost to West Virginia. I mean, Pitt was a very decent team coming in the SEC, but I don't know what's going on with them, if anything. I mean, they started red hot, being two teams, 61-9, 45-17. Maybe just a little lackluster offense, if anything, not doing that well. 52 QBR with only 11 touchdowns in 6 games. I don't know how to feel about that. But I think Florida State right now they almost came back against Miami. They lost to Virginia on the road. Now Virginia's ranked, and Virginia's on a whole thing with only 1 loss in their season. But I think Florida State should win this game. They'll continue in their rankings. I know that they're a competitive team. We cannot bet against Florida State. They're dealing with a couple issues. Their O-line's been lackluster a little bit. Tommy has to be fighting for his life half the time. I mean, he's 5'9" out there. He's literally the culprit of this team. They ride with Tommy, they die with Tommy. And Tommy is trying his best to carry this team to victory. And I just love his effort. And, I do think they're going to win this game because I know this is at the Seminoles. Of course, I think they're going to win this game then. If it's at Seminoles, I trust that. I know it was at Seminoles last week against Miami, and Miami was cooking, but they almost choked. But Miami always chokes, though. But, 10.5 right now for this line. I'm going to take Florida State in this game. Michigan State versus UCLA. Michigan State's favored in this game, 7.5. And UCLA's coming off a big upset right now, riding high on the momentum. Maybe Nico goes off again on the road against Michigan State. 1-4, and now 3-2 for Michigan State versus the 1-4 UCLA. It's just I look at Michigan State. I was really high on them a little bit with Aiden Chills, and I'm really thinking Aiden Chills is not that guy. If anything, 900 yards thing, and the running back duo with Tolis and Malik Fraser, very solid. I think they're more of a run team. Or well, they're 96 in the country with 140 yards. Tied with 34 points, averaging. And their losses are to USC at the road and losing to Nebraska on the road. So get a home game right here. Try to build momentum, winning at home. I mean, their only other competent win was 42-40 against Boston College. It's just 2 games in a row losing on the road is very tough in the Big Ten Conference. And UCLA is just playing with everything. They don't care anymore. I mean, they're 1-4. Nico's balling after 5 touchdowns against Penn State, the number 17 in the country. Well, at the time, but now they're running high. They have nothing to lose. And if I had to say, I'm taking Nico and the boys back-to-back weeks. I mean, I didn't take them last week, of course, but I think Nico and them get the win back-to-back weeks, building momentum for this coach. I forgot UCLA's coach. He was the former quarterback for them. Let me see. If I have to say UCLA football coach. I forgot his name. Is it Tim Skipper? Is his name? I don't think that's him. Jerry, not Heisman. Heisman. I don't even know how to say Heisman. I am stuck with my speaking, but I feel like he's been carrying this team a little kind of thing. I mean, his dad watched the game, a little bit of him playing. Not playing, but like how he did. As a coach, he was proud of him, and maybe they ride high with this. I'm going to take Nico and the boys, though. SMU versus Stanford, I'm going to take SMU in this game. I think those guys are going to still figure it out. I mean, SMU is still a decent team. Only 2 losses, 1 to TCU. 2 teams from the Big 12. So they're still in decent things for the chance for the ACC championship after being Syracuse. So I think they can build momentum, and they're going to play Clemson in the coming weeks. So don't bet against those boys right now, and Kevin Jennings and them. So I think SMU should win that game. Cincinnati versus UCF. I mean, Cincinnati's getting big momentum right now. Back-to-back weeks of being at home after almost losing, it was 31-15 at halftime against Iowa State, beating the number 14 team in the country. A lot of people are building the narrative. Cincinnati's very underrated. Only 1 loss, first in the Big 12 right now. That 1 loss was 3 points to Nebraska, and that was at a neutral site. So these guys, Cincinnati's building some momentum right now. I mean, your quarterback play with, I think it was Mosby, is the quarterback's name, and if I could see the stats. Brendan Strausby. I mean, he's been solid for them. I mean, I forget where he's from. I think he's from Denton, if I'm correct. 12 touchdowns, only 6 yards. I mean, this team is really him. I mean, he's a senior quarterback, pretty much a big dynamic of anything of this team. The run game's, led by, Walker and Pyron. Very solid with that department. And the defense, I forgot their defensive tackle, who's been really good for this team. And he's been their all-star guy for the past 2 seasons. I believe it is it Robert Jackson? I forget his name. Because they've been very solid, I have to say that, the defensive-wise, especially in the Iowa State game, almost, winning that game at home. But if the thing is, a lot of people say Cincinnati could be the underdogs, like a little bit like Arizona State was last year. No one knew about them a little bit, and they come out of nowhere. Cincinnati couldn't do it. I mean, it really depends. But if I had to say, I'm going to take Cincinnati in this game, if anything. Oklahoma State versus Houston. I'm taking Houston. I don't care because Oklahoma State is just a joke. They're having a receiver playing quarterback, I believe. I saw that. It's just a joke. Just tank the season. Just Houston's getting this win easily. Then you got Ole Miss versus Washington. Ole Miss should win that game with a breeze. And the last game, I'm saving this for a while. Missouri versus Alabama. Alabama's coming off a great win against Vanderbilt, and blocking out Diego and those guys. The Diego-led offense by Vanderbilt and Eli Stowers. And Ty Simpson's playing really good football too. I mean, this team is in back-to-back weeks of beating 2 ranked teams, and you get to play another ranked team, and on the road in Missouri. I mean, Tiger Town. We'll see how that goes. I mean, Missouri's really hot. I mean, a lot of their quarterbacks led by Abu, from Penn State, the transfer quarterback they got. I mean, they're averaging really good because Bew and Ahmad Hardy and then Kevin Coleman Jr. I mean, this offense is very talented. If I had to say, their offense is one of the best in the SEC right now. Like, being consistent, right there with Alabama, of course, because Ty Simpson, the run game's looking good with Deere and Miller, and the pass game with Ryan Williams. Horton, Jamar Bernard, and the defense for Alabama has been very solid for the back-to-back weeks. I mean, this team's good. Alabama's a little back. I think they're going to make a run for the SEC championship if they keep it up, of course. I mean, you already beat Georgia, so you could build momentum for this team for a little bit. I mean, you just look at this team; it's very solid overall. I mean, favorites right now is Alabama, 63% to 36%, and if I see who's the favorite in this game, I think Alabama is favored by 5.5. I mean, Miller's been really good for them. Bernard. It's just the defense for this, and Torton also for the other side or Torton. If I can say his name right. Big help for the linebacker, help for that. I mean, Alabama's schedule is really for them to run the table. I already beat Vanderbilt. You got Tennessee at home. You got South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma. I mean, it's really up for them to run the table. If I had to say anything, the only game they could lose on their schedule that could bite them is playing at Auburn, because at Auburn is always difficult for anyone. They always win nail biters. They get missed field goal and then return for to the house. It's always a close game, and then they win the Cam Newton era a little bit too. Auburn is one of the toughest places to play for Alabama. It's always going down the wire, especially the 4th and 17. Oh, that was crazy to I think it was Isaiah Bond and Joe Miro. I mean, but the Missouri game though, if I had to say, I'm not going to bet against Bama and the boys. I bet last game against them, and they showed out and killed Diego and those guys. And Missouri's good. I like their offensive stars with Mine Hardy and Kevin Coleman and Bew. If I had to say, I'm going to take them. Yeah, I'm going to take Alabama, of course. And the 2:30 games already hit the Oklahoma game against Texas already in a YouTube video with some of my partners. And in Oregon versus Indiana, I like Oregon. I like Indiana. I do. I like with Sarton they have, or how I say this, Elijah and Herbie, and then Fernando Mendoza. I mean, it's a good team. I say this Indiana team is better than last year's, if I had to say. I mean, it's a very good team. It's just Oregon is Oregon. It's just if Indiana wants to win this game, if Indiana wins this game, if I had to say, they're in the top competition of the Big Three right there. Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan, the Big Three. They're up there. It's 4 of them now, if anything. And winning this game on the road is going to be crazy, especially in Ducktown. I mean, their favorite 7.5 for Oregon, and I mean, Sigarardi. I mean, he's going to be really good for him. He only knows how to win. They're 5-0 again. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. I don't think you should bet. I'm not going to say Oregon wins in a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game because Dante Moore and Dakota Moore has been very solid with this team with Sadiq. I mean, this offense is very solid, and Dante Moore is maybe the best quarterback in this draft class upcoming if he does declare. He's building that thing, especially when on the whiteout a couple weeks ago. I mean, he's been a narrative for him right now. And I love it. I really do. He's composed. He's controlled. Not many turnovers. Just be that guy. Have fun. It's a little bit of backyard football, like how Jackson Dart's been playing. And I think Dante Moore and those boys will get the win over Indiana. It's not going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be a close game because Oregon they're just coming out of nowhere. Georgia Tech versus Virginia Tech. I mean, for Georgia Tech, it's been really good so far. I mean, 13 in the country. They've been solid with Hayes and Keys and that offense. I mean, I think they're going to figure it out still, and I think and Eric Rivers too. I mean, this offense has been solid. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech in this game. Notre Dame versus NC State. Why do I got to say anything? I'm going to take Notre Dame, of course. Iowa State versus Colorado. It's going to be a decent game. Iowa State's favorite 2.5 after losing to Cincinnati. Colorado's just blowing up in flames, a little much, if anything. I'm going to take Iowa State. Penn State versus Northwestern. Maybe they get momentum for themselves. I don't know. K-State versus TCU. Give me TCU in that game. UNLV is very good right now. Very underrated. They're building momentum for them. They're undefeated. I think they're going to stay undefeated. That's one of the most underrated teams right now. Dan Mullen has been controlling this team right now. I believe he's the former Florida coach, right? I believe, former Florida coach before, Billy. And he's been controlling this team really solid. I mean, UNLV is a very good program right now. And I think they're going to win the MAC, of course. And, because they're facing Air Force, and it should be a good game right there. So I'm taking UNLV in that game. Marshall, blah, blah, blah. You got Tennessee versus Arkansas. Give me Tennessee. I think those guys, Joey, and then, Joey, And who else is it? Isaiah White, I believe. Chris Brazil. I mean, the receiver catchers are really good for Tennessee, especially Chris is just a mossing god, if anything. And Mike Matthews is a solid receiver too, and Brandon Staley. I mean, overall solid pass catchers, and the defense has been very good right now, if I had to say this. I mean, you have three players already have 3 sacks. And Joshua Joseph right now, 4 sacks right now in the season. I mean, he's solid pretty much this year. And then Demake Bailey, also Ty Wilson. I mean, this defense is very solid. And Abu Carter as a DB, already in 6 with 1 interception already. I mean, this defense is very solid. If they could honestly be undefeated right now if they don't miss their kick with the OT or missing the kick to force them to win on the road at home against Georgia, but it happens. And he missed the kick to win the game for them pretty much. And it overall it happens, but still 12th in the country. And I think playing this game against Arkansas is going to be competitive. But I do think Tennessee wins this game. I think their offense is just going to keep going. Taylor Green and that team just can't keep up. If anything, Arkansas just get ready for next year, if I had to say. Going to the other games right now, you got. I forgot to hit on this game a little bit, and I think this is a very underrated game. Both these quarterbacks are the future of college football, if I had to say. Malik Washington and Dylan Gabriel. Not Dylan Gabriel, crap. Dylan Royale. And them two quarterbacks have been one of the 2 best young quarterbacks for this college football because they're both playing at the high level. Malik Washington's carrying this program, Maryland, back to relevancy. It's been a while since you watched them be entertaining a little bit, and they did lose a close game, 24-20. They could have won last week against Washington, but that game was very close. And I do think Washington's a very good team still in the Big Ten. But Maryland, though, I mean, you're playing at home still against Nebraska and that red-hot offense with Matt Rule and them, and I just think it's going to go down to the wire with both these teams. It's going to be who has that ball last and who's going to be the true identity of the future of college football after this year. I mean, Dylan Royale has been very solid for the Nebraska team. And, 2.5 favorite for Nebraska also. I mean, Dylan Royale has only 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions right now. That Michigan game, he was really on point right now. And he's been the big factor for this team in the run game with Emmett Johnson. And, he's been a main lead back for this team, 7 touchdowns right now in the season. And the pass catchers, it's really committee, if anything. The pass catchers is really good, if I had to say, for this team. It's been very solid. And compared to past years, because, I mean, they had a decent receiver core last year, but nothing too crazy. This year, I believe, losing Key, but your pass catchers this year with Hunter, Dan Key, they got Dan Key, and Ja'Cory Barron Jr., I mean, that's a solid pass catcher. It's a committee, if anything, who has the hot hand, in my opinion. And Dylan Royale is just having fun out there, looking good. And this is what Dylan Royale is supposed to be looking good. I mean, he was the number one quarterback coming out, and I mean, he's a 5-star, so I do like this. He's maybe the next Patty, who knows, but he's playing really solid with the season. I think he's going to continue getting better. But if I had to say, I'm going to take probably Nebraska in the same. I think I trust Nebraska's defense over Maryland's, if anything, especially how it came down to the last minutes for Maryland to lose that game against Washington. So I think I'm going to take Nebraska in this game, of course. Going to the 6:30 games. 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock games. A&M versus Florida. I mean, imagine if Florida beats both Aggies and Texas this season. That would be a historic moment for them. And Willis is coming back to Texas. Again. Oh, Lagway's coming back from Texas again. And A&M. I mean, they beat the brakes off at Mississippi State last week, and I thought it was going to be a close game. I really thought so, but they beat the crap out of them. And if Florida wants to win this game, Aggies, do what you did against Texas. Put pressure, apply pressure. I know Muscle Reed is a different kind of quarterback, and the receivers are a little better with Mario Craver and Casey Compton. I mean, that's a different, and you still have the running back out there. I forget that it's Moss, I believe, or if it's for A&M. Because I don't know. I always forget them. They have a running back committee, if anything, right now. Not this year, though, so far. It's been Owens. I believe it's Owens this year. No, Moss right now. Owens and Moss right now, going back and forth right now with the running back committee right now. And Terry Bussey, also the slot receiver for them. So it's been a very, it's a very interesting offense, I would say. It's better than recent memories for this A&M offense. I really think it's entertaining with led by Marshall Reed, and the defense has been very unique in the past years. I mean, the A&M's defense has always been a big factor for this team, but York has been a big help for them. Will Lee in their secondary, and then Albert and then Tyler. I mean, it's very a solid defense this year in comparative past seasons. And Radcliffe in the secondary too with their safety, and then Howell Cashin. I mean, he's been a very good edge rusher. Already 7 sacks this year. I mean, this guy's been very good for this team. And you still got Bryce Anderson in the backfield. I do not know if he's been playing though, and then DJ Hicks also. So it's very solid defense. And Florida, I mean, they came in, beat Texas last week, and it was just playing in Gainesville. Gainesville is one of the hardest places to play, in my opinion. Playing in Gator Town, and it's hard to play within that environment. But you're playing in Aggie Land now, and Aggie Land is just they come fighting, bro. That game against Mississippi State and Auburn a couple weeks ago. You playing in Aggie Land, just keep your belt rooking, and it's going to be tough for you. It's going to be a rude awakening. But if DJ Lagway and the boys just don't turn over the ball, and that defense for Florida continues what they've been playing against, like they already eliminated Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck this year. This team just depends on DJ Lagway not turn over the ball. And Dallas Wilson had a breakout game. If he continues like this, maybe Florida can make a secret comeback in the SEC. I mean, shit, we do not know. But if I had to say, give me A&M in this game. Wisconsin versus Iowa. Iowa's favored in this game. Give me Iowa, if anything. Tech versus Kansas. Tech's defense is just going to blow it out. I think Texas Tech's defense is just overall better than the Big 12, and it's one of the best defenses in the country. So I'm going to take Tech in this game. Georgia versus Auburn. It's at Auburn. That's a tough thing about this game is I do not know who wins this. It's a very interesting game because Georgia is playing decent. They did get the win over Kentucky, but that's Kentucky. But you're playing at Auburn, and Jackson Arnold and those boys are trying to find a way to continue going. I mean, Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton. I mean, this team got to figure it out, and they have one of the best defenses in the SEC, if anything. I mean, they almost beat OU if they just don't get sacked 10 times in that game, and almost beating A&M on the road. So they lost back-to-back games to competitive teams by barely margins, by 6 points or 7 points at most. And there's been plays that are missing right there. So this team's not bad. I'm not going to bet against Auburn. I mean, it's 2.5 favorite 3.5 for Georgia. But Georgia, I think they own the SEC if they just don't play Alabama. That's my narrative of it, and I think they do win this game. I think Gunnar Stockton will get back in the offense. I think the run game's going to get back with Zach Frazier. No turnovers, if anything, no fumbles, crazy. And the defense is still one of the best in the country. If I had to say, Alabama's defense is always going to be consistent. It's just they're a play away from being undefeated still if they don't have a guy driving their body in the damn, the pile, and they sell the game pretty much for them. So right there, if anything, and then just a couple plays away from being undefeated still. So I think I'll take Georgia in this game. USC versus Michigan, a very underrated game. USC's favorite 2.5, and Bryce Underwood back on the road again. I mean, he had a great game against Nebraska, already a decent game against OU, so he's been on the whole road environment already. So I do think this is going to go down the wire. I mean, Jaden Maliv, the quarterback for USC, has been very good for this team. And, I mean, USC's been one of those underrated teams. They could be, honestly, undefeated, too, if they don't have a game-winning field goal against Illinois on the road. They're a solid team, and it's a sold-out crowd, but, the coach for Michigan says it's more of a Michigan crowd, if anything. But, you can say your opinion about it, if anything, if you say that. But I look at Jaden Maliv has been very solid, with Lemon also, the receiver they have, and Jacoby Lane. I mean, it's a solid, decent core right there for them. Defensive-wise, the defense is not that bad. It's okay. You have 2 players right now this year with 3.5 with Braylon Shelby and then Eric Gentire and Crawford. I mean, solid defense if anything. I do think you look at the team overall. I mean, defensive ranking right now. I mean, total points right now this year for as a team. It's been very decent, but nothing too crazy. I mean, they'll figure it out, if I have to say. But I do think Michigan wins this game. I think Michigan and Bryce Underwood is building chemistry right now. Because that dude, Justin Haynes, if I believe is his name, the running back for Michigan, he's been a whole different workhorse for them. A man is a beast. Like, I look at that guy, he is a straight beast. Yeah, Justin Haynes, I mean, that guy, 8 touchdowns, 654 yards, and only 7 weeks in the season. This guy's a menace. I know Bryce Underwood hasn't done anything crazy, but the thing is, he's not try to turn over the ball. He's just being a game manager right now. He's only a freshman, and he's winning games right now on the road for this team. And I do like his ability right now. His running threat right now. I mean, even the coach calls him Batman. He's literally carrying this team to victory, and I love that with this team right now, where they're at. I do think Michigan wins this game, and I mean, I do think that, yes. Going to a couple other games, you got LSU versus South Carolina. I mean, this is a very underrated game. I think LSU could lose this. I think this is our upset of the season, right? Not upset of the season, but upset of the week. I think South Carolina is going to come in and beat them because I don't think this LSU's offense is very stellar. Right, they're slow right now because they can't run the ball. Garrett Nussmeier can't get a single block to save his life. I mean, you saw the Ole Miss game; they got exposed badly, and to the point they lost to Chambliss, literally carrying this team on his back. And the O-line cannot protect Garrett Nussmeier. He needs his O-line to protect him, and the pass catchers are not getting anything. And there's no momentum, no anything. This is a very stall offense. And this LSU team, you look at that Clemson win, it looks bad now. It looks very bad. And now you're number 11 team in the country. If you lose this game to South Carolina, you're supposed to have this great season. And Brian Kelly, hot seat, get him gone. Everyone hates him in LSU town. He's not a great coach. He's not a coach. He's not an LSU coach. He just came there for the bag. And in my opinion, I think this game is going to go South Carolina. I think South Carolina is going to just come out red hot. I think Lenore Sellers and that offense is going to be red hot right there. And that defense with Dylan Stewart also in the back over there and Kilgore in the back end. So I think this defense in South Carolina is going to be really good. And I think they're just going to apply pressure. I mean, Dylan Stewart is one of the best edge rushers in the country, especially last year, and especially building his resume this year. Just give me the boys of South Carolina if I had to say. I mean, I trust North Sellers over Garrett Nussmeier in this game. So that's my opinion. BYU versus Arizona. Give me BYU. I know it's at Arizona. Give me BYU either way. Utah versus Arizona State. That's going to be a very underrated game. But I have to say, I think they're finding ways to get out wins. They should honestly be. Give me Utah. I think Devin Daper and them are going to figure it out. I think that game against Texas Tech was a slump, and I think the offense will pick it up a little bit. It just happens with them. I mean, that Tech game was just a bad loss for them, but I think they'll figure it out with things. And I think sorry for the many words, but I just don't think Arizona State's that good of a team. I mean, they had close games with TCU and Baylor, came down the wire with them. Game-winning field goal against TCU, or a choke, fumble, my bad. Game-winning field goal against Baylor. It's just too close of a games, and they could honestly be, not even ranked right now. So Arizona State does lose this game. I think Utah comes in. I think they'll do that. So, yeah. We'll look at these other games. Clemson versus Boston College. Clemson should win this if they just play their game, if I have to say.